Hello, Internet!
Hi!
Hello, everybody!
Hey, welcome everybody to Highlight Heroes, featuring Helenerae, Rachel, the amazing Ripple from Rolling Tides!
I think I'm pointing in the right direction. I don't know.
You're right, yes. Yes.
Knows.
Yes.
Okay.
So, why don't we begin by Rachel, can you introduce yourself and all of your social media for the amazing people in chat?
I can! I'm Rachel, and I play Ripple in the Rolling Tides campaign on the Welcome In. My TikTok is Helenerae, like it says in the title. My Twitter is Helenerae with a CH, and then my Instagram is rachel.limper. Those are all the places you can find me. See my face and all my nerdy stuff.
Heck yes. And at the end, we'll post them in chat for y'all as well when we get a second.
Okay.
But thank you, Rachel. I'm super excited to have you here as a fellow player, and I know Parker is hyped to ask questions. We're all hyped to find out more. But first,
Yay.
announcements, because, we got to put you guys through that before we start. So, things to bring everyone's attention to. First off, we at the Welcome In support the BLM movements, and we are asking folks to donate funds to those charities or affiliated charities. You can click on the big yellow donate button at the bottom of this page. Doing so will take you to a list of charities, which you can kind of take a look at, select one that you kind of feel, and make some donations to. So please consider doing that for us. We'd really appreciate it. Take a look at our YouTube, please. It is growing crazy fast, and we would love to have more subscribers there. Sean particularly has been working his butt off on that space. So if you guys could head over there and subscribe then. If you missed one of the videos here and you can't get to the VOD here, they're all there. We're posting pretty much on Monday. Like if we do a Friday game at 3 p.m., is that right?
He said 3 days after the original stream.
There you go. So he's knocking out of the park there. So please, thank you, Azur, for being awesome and posting that. We also have a fan Discord, which is for subscribers. So if you are subscribed, please go ahead and check that out. I'm sure one of our mods will yeet the instructions on how to do that into chat in a minute. And if not, when I get a second, I'll grab it and put it in there. But if you're a subscriber, you can go ahead and join in. Zot is running some community one-shots that tie into the Rolling Tides. There's artwork and maps from the campaigns. There's groups forming their own little D&D sessions. There's mini painting talk. It's a cool little place to hang out, so come and join us.
There's mutual thirst over NPCs.
Absolutely. Lots of that.
Thank you, Azur, for posting those instructions. So, with that, scheduling, Parker.
Awesome. Okay, so this is our first thing for the week. But continuing on, we have our regularly scheduled programming. So we have Rolling Tides for a new episode at 7 p.m. on Friday evening. You can catch Conundrum Company at their normal time on Saturday at 6 p.m. Those are Eastern. And then we have a one-shot that Zot's doing that'll be an interesting format called Dance of the Devils at 6 p.m. on Sunday as well. So we have a full weekend of programming. If you guys ever want to find what our schedule looks like, you can check out our Instagram. So make sure to check out Instagram. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming that way that tells you about our players and their characters, and you get to see art and things. So follow us there for scheduling. And then we also have Sarah working really, really hard on our Twitter. So find us on all our social media. Do the thing. Sarah's doing a lot of really fun out of context quotes. So
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're really good.
Oh my god. All right. So with that, I think we can get into the actual Highlight Heroes portion of our show.
Whoa.
And how that always begins is we ask people to show off their minis. I'm going to go first this time. I'm painting the TARDIS. I have already started here with blue, but you can see there's a lot undone, and it's a bit messy. So I will be painting the TARDIS this evening. We'll see how far I get. I usually get distracted. Parker, what have you got for us?
I am painting the second little elven ranger from my pack that I had the other day. So this one has a crossbow and a longsword. So I'll be doing her deal this time because I'm still terrified of actually painting my Heroes Forge one.
Now, Rachel, you've got some particularly interesting stuff, right?
I sure do. Because I'm such a baby D&D player, I don't have any minis. Hey, but I I contacted Nikki at Internet Feet on Instagram, who did our official campaign art for Rolling Tides. She's amazing, and you should all go follow her. And she sent me just the blank line work of her art of Ripple. So I'm gonna be coloring it like a fun little Rolling Tides coloring sheet.
It's
Very
so
excited
good.
about it.
Oh my god.
So
it's
cute,
good.
though.
Well, so that really perfectly, thank you for setting up this segues into our next
absolutely.
question, which is, Rachel, what's your mini painting experience?
0. None. The only experience I have anything related to even using minis is when I play Zombicide, because you need them for that game. But other than that,
Zombicide
I
is
did.
a tabletop RPG or a...
Yeah, it's yes, but it just is like a full set that you can buy. It's not really as customizable. It's like a board game that is a role-playing game. You don't do a lot of role-playing, but you have a character that you're playing.
Oh, so it's kind of like
And you could totally make it a role-playing game if you want and just do all the acting stuff. I mean, there's no reason not to.
so it's like a House on the Haunted Hill, or like Game of
Oh,
Thrones
yeah.
had one, like that
Yes.
kind of stuff. Okay.
It's so fun, though. I get very into it to the point where, like, nights after I play Zombicide, I'm dreaming about getting killed by zombies and, like, dying.
That's
I don't know
terrifying.
if that's, yeah, I'm not, I don't know if I'll be playing.
play, and, like, it's totally cool. It's very intense. It is very intense. Me and my family play it when we just, like, start yelling. We're like, oh, yeah, it's very fun.
That's amazing. Okay,
Oh
okay.
my god.
But yeah, that's it. I'm probably gonna get a mini of Ripple just because she means the world to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I haven't done that yet, but I probably will get one. I just love her.
Well, so let's dive into what is your process for coloring this Ripple? What is your medium then?
Okay, I have colored pencils here. I have divided them into all of the blues and the greens that I have.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna pick from there, and then I'm gonna go with the color scheme that Nikki used, and so I have a separate pile of colored pencils that are pink and brown and tan for her clothes.
That's
I think I'm gonna
perfect.
start with her hair
Okay.
because it's my favorite part.
It's that
of her.
hair. That hair. Oh.
I
man.
love the hair,
So
the
good.
water hair. It's my favorite thing. So that's my plan. We'll see
Genius.
where the evening takes us, but
The night is young.
the night is very young.
All right, Parker, you're up.
All right. So, how did you get into D&D? That's
That
always
is
one of our first questions.
a great first question. I've always had friends / family members who are very into D&D and role-playing games, so it was always something I wanted to try, but I never had. And then, like any, self-respecting Dungeons and Dragons players, I listened to all of the Adventure Zone in one summer, and I just really, really loved it, and I was like, I need to just do this. Like, this needs to be a thing that happens in my life. So I contacted a bunch of my friends at college, and most of us had never played before, but we got a group together. We got our DM, which was actually Lydia from Rolling Tides / TikTok. The famed It Little Lydia was our DM, and that was my first time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was back in September. But it was literally because of the Adventure Zone. I was like, I need to do this because they had so much fun, and I want to have that kind of.
That's amazing. Look how far you guys
That's
have
really
come
fun.
too in like less than a year. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us the scoop on what Lydia is like as a DM? This isn't on
Oh,
the
I
question.
absolutely can.
Yeah, tell us a little about that.
She is amazing. First of all, obviously.
Obviously.
I feel like I have something somewhere in my D&D pile. She makes us these, she makes a lot of handmade stuff to give us while she's DMing. So, I have, one of the things I bought in the shop is just here on, a note card that she gave to me and wrote everything on there. I think my favorite thing that she ever did for my character was, she drew a picture of my character and then tore the edges of the paper, and then during just like we were shopping, we were in a town, we were hanging out. She goes, "Oh yeah," and then Valentine, that was my character name, "You see this on the ground," and then Lydia physically in real life hands me this picture that she drew of my character all torn up, and there's a note on the backside from someone from my backstory. So she like handmade all these really creative things. There was like a book of prophecies that one character had, and she literally made a tiny book out of paper for us to use. Like she's so crafty as a person, and so that like came out in the campaign, and it was so much fun. I'm sad we never got to like finish it because coronavirus happened
Curse you,
right
COVID.
in the middle of it. But I'm hoping we'll be able to get back together eventually, whether it's over Discord or in person again once we go back to school. But yeah, she was so good.
You guys are funny together too. You've got a lot of synergy, so I can imagine that campaign is a blast.
We kind of became friends like right when we first met. We were like, the vibes are good here. We're gonna be friends.
Vibe check. So
Yeah, exactly.
So what is your favorite class to play in D&D thus far?
So I've only played 2.
Okay.
Wizard and Monk are the 2 that I've played. Obviously, Ripple's the Monk. I don't know if I have a super strong preference to either, but I think Wizard, combat-wise, I was like, oh, there's like so many options for things to do, and I really, really liked that. Like, I could do something different every single turn, which I really like. Not that playing a Monk is bad. I love playing Ripple.
Yeah,
But
it's very,
combat-wise, being a wizard was like...
the world is your oyster sort of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like flabbergasted sometimes. I'm like, oh, I could do this or this. Like, either's effective.
I mean,
fireball, like everybody.
completely yeah. You just like fireballing.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Fireball, magic missile, all of the classics.
But that utility is a lot of fun for wizards.
Yeah.
That's definitely like.
Absolutely. Wizards are fun. And now there was the whole wizard versus monk debate happening on TikTok.
That's
and
true.
I was literally like, I don't know what to do in this situation.
You may
These
be
are the only 2 I know.
You're the only person who may have just the purest perspective on both.
It's true.
Right, exactly. That's what we'll go with.
Yeah. As much credit to you as possible.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, because you said you've played 2 classes,
Right.
but do you have a favorite race in D&D?
So, my favorite race I have not actually gotten to play, and that's Drow. I'm like obsessed with Drow. Anytime they get mentioned in a conversation, I'm like spitting out mad facts about it. I just really love them. I think they're interesting. I love that D&D kind of as a community took something that was kind of racist and like saying these characters were inherently bad, and we were like, nope, I'm gonna make a cool good person, or I'm gonna make like a reformed person, you know. I just love that. And also all the fan art of them is just so hot.
Drow are so hot.
Drow
Yeah.
are so hot.
Like, Drow be hitting different. Like, you see
It's
elves
true.
and you see Drow and you're like, nah, that's fair. That's fair.
So I love Drow.
I'm just saying.
They are so
different.
cool.
That's perfection.
They be hitting
That shit
different.
hitting different.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So,
they're amazing.
so before we move on, there's a very important
Yes.
part of the show.
Oh my god.
I need you to, you don't have to believe it, you just have to say that
Uh-huh.
dwarfs are actually your favorite race. This is just a small, don't worry about it too much. I'm not doing anything with these clips or anything, I promise you. But I do need you just to say, I, Rachel, think dwarves are the best race in D&D.
I feel like that kind of discredits that time that I slammed you in that rap Jackbox game.
That's
we were
true.
playing
You slammed me so...
About dwarves.
You did! You broke my heart! Guys,
Just saying fact.
just so
We
you
got
know,
there.
yeah, Rachel is a vicious rap writer. Never play Jackbox with her because she'll tear you apart. I died a little bit that day.
It was too easy. It was right there. I knew who I was up against. So I was like, you gotta go for the throat.
Yeah, you did.
Sometimes.
You got me right at the jugular. Okay. I won't make you say.
Doors are cool. Doors are great.
Oh no. That's perfect. That's okay. That's going in the compilation.
Doors are wonderful. You're like,
Right.
I'll take the win. We're moving.
That's perfect. Before you could backtrack out. So
It's like good enough.
So you gave us your favorite class. What class do you
Yes.
want to try next? Like, what's the big one next? You think?
I think I would like to try Druid at some point in my life. Because I, Rachel, as a human being, just identify as one. I'm wearing a shirt right now with plants on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I love animals, and I have so many houseplants, and so I just feel like playing a druid would come so natural.
Yeah, you
To
would just channel that energy.
Be very, very fun. So I think that's what I kind of want to try next. Also, it's just only mildly related to this really, really beautiful dice set I saw. That was like moss and copper. Like it was clear and it had moss inside of it and like copper. They're so pretty, and I was like, oh man, like imagine playing a druid.
So
These dice.
What you're saying is we have to get you in a game as a druid for the dice.
For the dice.
Yes.
For the
So that I have an excuse to buy more dice.
Got it. We'll make something
100%.
happen.
Yeah, they're very beautiful dice.
Completely
Just saying.
legitimate reason.
It really is.
And I do the
course.
exact same thing, so.
Dude.
I'm like, I could play that character, but I don't have dice that match. That's just so unfortunate. I guess
man.
I'll have to buy more.
Just gotta get some dice, I guess.
I gotta buy some new dice.
Oh no.
What a shame.
How tragic.
So, our next question, I feel like I know what you might say because you just told us that your favorite race you haven't played yet, but what is the race
Yes.
you want to play next?
Probably a draft.
Okay.
But I think I kind of want to play a half orc too, or an orc. I think that'd be fun. Also because so far the two characters that I've played have had very high-pitched character voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to like test out a different type of character voice, something like a little bit rougher. So I think like a larger class that would naturally have a deeper voice might be kind of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
But honestly, I'm like, there's so much for me still to try, and I think that's like kind of the fun part about being so new to D&D is like, there's so many different things I haven't done yet, and then
The world
so
is
much
your
to do.
oyster. Yeah.
It's true.
I'm very excited about it.
I mean, that's honestly amazing. So, then this question is a weird one, and I don't know.
Okay.
You know, again, given like, it's what is your least favorite class to play? But I think I'm gonna reword the question to be,
Okay.
what do you think is the least favorite class to play? Do you think there's one that is like kind of like bleh?
That is a very interesting question. I feel like a lot of people say this, but like human.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, race.
Yeah, as a race. Oh, you said class. Sorry, I was
did,
thinking race.
but you're answering
But-
Parker's question right now, which is
So go for
Right.
it.
yeah.
That's okay. We'll switch the order. No, well, I feel like you could do a lot with a human, but also I feel like you're already that.
Whenever I
So,
think human, I think like I'm going to challenge myself by trying to be unique as a human,
Right.
which is
I think that's where the fun lies in playing a human.
I think
Would
you're
be,
very right.
what can I make out of this? But in general, I'm kind of like you could be a fish person, you know?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could.
That. Totally different. But, least favorite class. I don't know, because I haven't really played many of them. That is an interesting question. I think
It's a tricky one.
I think less for me, my least favorite thing would be to play a stereotype of a class. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They're what is known to be common as a reason, you know?
Yeah.
But I think I personally would just like, if I'm gonna play a rogue, I want them to not just constantly commit crime. If I'm gonna play a bard, I want them to be just as asexual as possible.
Oh,
Just
hell
because
yes.
I think that's what's fun for me, is like defying that stereotype. So, not necessarily like a least favorite class, but I don't know. I don't think I personally would get much enjoyment out of playing the standard for any type of class.
I mean, that's a really
Fair.
good point, honestly.
But also, you totally need something like that. Like when we did Battle of the Bards, there was a bunch of different ways that bards could be interpreted. And then Blurdy did kind of the stereotypical one, but it was beautiful because it was contrasted by all these other bards. It was really... Battle of the Bards was great. If you haven't watched it, you should go to
It's really
YouTube
good. I think
watch it.
we were gushing
fun.
a little bit about Birdie's character, and I don't know if he's here right now, but I think the beauty of his character is he leaned hard into the bard cliche, but then
Yeah.
embraced it and brought like class and elegance to it that you don't see.
So good.
It was wonderful. All the
Yeah.
players like hit it out of the park. Parker. It was so
Truly,
was
Battle
fun.
of the Bards was an experience
good.
that I would like to live over and over again. It was so beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was fun.
It was so fun.
We kind of crashed through two questions here, so I think we're back on my question, which is,
Sounds about right.
how did you get into content creation like TikTok? Like what was the impetus of that?
So, TikTok is not my first bout of like mild internet notoriety. I don't like the word fame, so I'm using
That's a good word.
my thesaurus today. I ran like a decently popular Tumblr blog for something very cringy that we don't even have to talk about. But that was like the first time
I'll
where I
ask
was
you
like,
later.
Yeah, we need
you
to
can
know.
do things on the internet and people are gonna notice that you do these things. That was like my first round of that, and that was back like a few years ago. And so then when TikTok started becoming popular, I had gotten one just to watch videos, and then I was like just making videos for fun kind of, and like for my friends. And I think with TikTok specifically, I made one Dungeons and Dragons video that just like randomly blew up. It was like me in my bathroom complaining that everybody wanted to talk about bards and nobody wanted to talk about wizards. So this was like ages ago. Because that was back when I was playing a wizard and I was like, I want representation. This was like the peak of bard TikTok back in the day, when that was what was going on, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was got like really, really popular, and I was like, at this point, Lydia, who is a friend of mine, as we discussed, had already been making a lot of Dungeons and Dragons TikToks, and I was like, yo, what's up with this? And she was like, oh yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people who like Dungeons and Dragons are also on TikTok. She was like, it's the weirdest combination that you'd never think of, but there's so many people. So I was like, I was sold. I was like, all right, I'm into this. And so then that's when I started more regularly making TikToks about D&D and Star Wars, which is pretty much all I do now. But
The good stuff.
yeah,
The good things. in
good
life.
stuff.
Good things.
Well, we're
in
lucky
there.
to have you. That's for certain.
Yeah.
I love that there's just that whole community on TikTok. It's so wonderful. Everybody is so great.
It's a very sweet group of people. It is.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Love
that's
it.
so nice. Can I just say, this is unrelated to our interviews, but I had a moment of pride just now, and Parker, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You were sitting here and you pulled out your case of brushes, and I watched you pick through your brushes for the right brush, and I was like, I was very much listening to what Rachel had to say, but there was also a part of me that was like, yes.
Were you so proud?
Yeah,
Were you-
yeah. So
This
sorry.
This is an interview show, but also just Josh teaching Parker how to paint minis over a series of episodes.
We can watch your progress through each highlight here.
You can. You actually probably can. Because, and the fun thing is about this show, and I'm sure people have heard this before, but the first, like, us sitting and painting was actually on my Twitch channel. Or it was supposed to be, and then my technology didn't work, so it was on Josh's channel. And I painted this guy, who eventually became Bims in the campaign.
That's so sweet. It's
Yeah.
adorable.
That harkens
Josh?
back to what you were talking about, Rachel, with
Yes.
Lydia, and how Lydia like made something for you and put it into the world, and like
Yeah.
I think that's something for those of you in chat who are like starting DMs, like those little things mean the world to your
They
players.
really do.
Yeah.
Because I looked up
100%.
the freaking pseudo dragon that was supposed to be in Saltmarsh, and it's red.
Yeah, it's not the same
It's
at
not
all.
blue.
No, yeah.
It's not blue, and he pulled it up on the Roll20 map, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Is that my dragon?" I was like, "Did you make my dragon?" And I literally immediately was like, "Nobody touch it." I was like, "Don't kill it. I'll be so upset." Yeah, it's
So,
important.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a very good practice.
100%.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, I think this is our last like written question for you before we open it up to chat. What is your biggest hobby outside of D&D?
Oh. We're supposed to have other listeners.
Yeah, right?
That's valid,
Right.
honestly.
Right? Honestly.
I really like writing, which goes well with Dungeons and Dragons. So I write a lot of like just like random short stories, or like I do a lot of like I'll write a scene from something that's not an actual story that I haven't actually planned out yet, but I'm like, what if a character like this and a character like this had an interaction? And then I'll just write that, and it's like in this Google Doc of just random pieces that I'm like, maybe this will turn into an actual project. But I'd like to just sit down and I'm like, let's write something. So
So what got
Creative
you into
writing.
what got you into writing and like posting to Tumblr and things like that? Is that like a passion? Is it a degree? Like we're going off the rails.
well, I am double majoring, and one of my majors is English literature because of my passion for writing. I just wanted to, you learn a lot about writing from reading, so just literature in general. But it was just, it's one of those things where I can just always remember myself doing it. Like, I remember myself being like 6 years old, sitting in my backyard with a notebook, just writing like a story about a girl who really liked the stars. And so her parents got her a book about stars. That was the whole story. But like, it was my story that I wrote. And so I just remember always writing books, quote unquote, when I was in middle school, and it's just like, I don't know, something I've always really loved doing. And so
That's awesome.
it's just my big thing.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
All right, chat. So we're opening questions up to y'all. I already see a few coming in. Thank you, Azur,
yeah.
for pointing out. If you highlight a question, it's much easier for us to see. So if you could try to do that, we'll try and catch the other ones as well. But highlighted questions would be awesome. And, ask about whatever. If you ask a Rolling Tides question, we'll try to answer it, but we'll also put up spoiler warnings for folks who haven't caught up and things like that. So go ahead. There's already some in here. And I think Azur asked the first one, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with that, which is, what has been your favorite D&D moment so far? And this is an excellent question.
Oh, favorite D&D moment so far? I think probably Ripple and Andrea by the water.
Yeah.
Having their moment on the beach, especially because Lacey and I were just so in tune in that when we were role playing that scene. We were like, we know how to make this like a good moment, and it really was. And I think about that moment a lot. I think Darkest Stars drew art of it, and it was so beautiful, and it really to me when I saw that.
Two of them huddled next to each other on the beach.
It was really, really sweet. That was a sweet moment between the two of them.
That's a cute relationship, those two.
They're adorable.
The kiddos,
Love it.
quote unquote. Yeah.
Exactly.
Doing their sad times. Oh,
Which is just kind of rolling tides. That's like our thing.
there's a lot of sad. Yeah.
Rolling tears.
Rolling tears.
Yeah.
Just checking on something here because I've got buffering on Twitch. I don't think it's I think it's just my thing. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody.
I see things.
Vault of Villains. Volta Villains asked, usual weekly question, what monster would you want to play as a character, and why? I also took time to think about this question because I didn't know last time.
It's a tricky one, and it's a brilliant one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've never even thought of that before.
That's what happened to me last week, where I was like,
Hmm.
Yeah, because we asked the whole squad that one, I think, last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
What did you guys say? I'm gonna steal your ideas.
If I could change mine, I decided that I would want to play a Displacer Beast.
Ooh.
Because I think that would be very fun.
Oh,
that sounds weird, but I would want it.
I copped out because I was worried about spoiling backstory to a D&D campaign that I'm in.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't think any of the players are watching tonight. So, I play a goblin named Cack Skagback. Here's the tea, guys. Inside scoop.
Oh my god,
I play Parker knows of this character. He's infamous in our circle of friends. He's a nightmare child who is just the most destructive creature on the planet. He's burnt down mayoral buildings. He's a nightmare. He's terrible. I know I'm known for being soft. This character is not soft in any way, shape, or form. But he is not actually a goblin. He is actually a ooze that a other goblin bard found, one of Sean's previous characters, and the goblin bard he's level 20, he wished Cack into being a real goblin child that he could raise. So Cack is actually an ooze, which is kind of me living out my that's my monster, is this ooze. It is the most...
So you're like, I'm actually playing one.
Yeah, I am playing an ooze. Who just looks like a goblin.
I know so much now.
Yes, those are big secrets.
So much
don't tell
makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Pinocchio story.
Stay with me and all the viewers.
Thanks, guys. Chat. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell Sean.
All right, Rachel. What about you? Have you had time?
Yes. So, okay. I'm gonna run with what my first thought was, even though the moment this came into my mind, I was like, what? Why? But, I initially thought of, like, a mimic for some reason. I don't know why, but that was, like, the first thing that came into my mind. And then as I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, do you know how cool that would be?
That would
like,
be really
that
cool.
would be really interesting. You just basically a trickster object, you know? Like, I think that would be very interesting. Like
knowing
mimic with a voice.
Knowing you, I actually think this answer is spot on. I think nobody realizes how devious you are, and I think it's a spot on answer. And that was a compliment, but
absolutely. Yeah. I live for the pain in D&D as much as Zot does, so yeah. I'm fully to blame for a lot of things that happen in Rolling Tides and other things.
Troublemaker.
100%.
Yeah. All right, we got another question from Pins here. And it's another... You guys are killing it,
It's a really good question.
Yeah. So you are DMing a one-shot of your complete design, right from the beginning. Yeah. Where is it taking place, and what is the catalyst? What causes the adventurers?
Whoa!
Big question.
Where is it taking place?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And what is the catalyst? Interesting. Well, actually, I do have a thought for this, because there was a thing happening in a Discord a while ago where we were just like naming plot hooks, and I had come up with one. This is gonna sound a little conundrum company for a second.
Okay.
But like,
I never mind that.
Of course not. So you're on a ship, and
oh no.
just absolutely dead in the water, and nobody can figure out why, but there's just no wind, ship isn't moving, the sails are up, nothing you can do to get the ship to move, right? So that's your setting. Catalyst, though, what I thought would be very interesting to happen is, so your party members are obviously on this ship, whether they know each other or not, that can be up to the people playing, but a fight breaks out because you're stuck on the water for so long, you can't get the ship to move, things are tense, fight breaks out. Somebody goes overboard, and instead of just, like, falling into the water, they disappear completely. And you don't know why. That's your catalyst.
Ooh.
Is okay, our ship is stuck in the water and something spooky's happening because somebody just straight up disappeared.
Oh my god, I love that so much. That's fantastic and very spooky, and we like spooky. We like spooky a lot.
Me too, man.
Okay.
Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Oh, yes.
Like
100%.
intensely so. It's like kind of my thing.
I
Like how many days until Halloween? I'll tell you.
I can't wait until Halloween at the Welcome Inn, honestly.
So much we can do.
It's on a Saturday, and if you don't think that I'm dragging Sean's butt into cosplaying his character, you're wrong.
My gosh. That
And so
didn't even...
is he. Yeah. Halloween week on the Welcome Inn. I'm just saying we should get this started. Everybody should
Yeah.
dress as their characters.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
That's so good.
I love that.
Let's
That'd be
see.
so cool.
We've got another Azure question here. God, you guys have good questions. What is one fantasy story, so novel, series, movie, whatever, you'd be most keen to have as a backup to a D&D campaign? Or backdrop, excuse me. I can read English. So like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'll do it.
What is a world you'd like to play in?
It's going to be very niche,
Okay.
but some people may know what I'm talking about. There's this children's book by Maurice Sendak, who wrote Where the Wild Things Are. He also has a book called Outside Over There that I was obsessed with as a child because it's very spooky. It's kind of like Labyrinth wasn't inspired by it, but if you read it, you can see a lot of similarities. Labyrinth, the movie with David Bowie, of course, which is also a joke from a campaign. Labyrinth. So there's one answer, but I have a second one. Basically, this girl has a baby sibling. I don't remember if it's sister or brother, but this baby gets stolen by goblins, and they replace it with an ice baby. And the art for this is like absolutely beautiful because she just picks up this like blanket with a melting ice baby in it, and so then she has to go and find and get her baby sibling back from these goblins.
This is a children's book. Wow.
Yes, it is. Maurice Sendak writes very interesting children's books. But like I was obsessed with it as a kid, and it's so beautiful. And like I said, very niche. I don't know if anybody has any idea what I'm talking about, but it was such a good book when I was a kid, and I feel like just like Labyrinth or that story, goblins stealing an entire person. What you gonna do? Just that world. That very, like, mystical, fae, goblin, you know, like, woods. They were in the woods. It was very, like, cottagecore style book.
Perfect.
But spooky.
I love that. It's very aesthetic.
Which is, yeah.
Very
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. That was
Like, in the woods,
that
mystical.
was an amazing answer.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Look it up. It's a very good book.
I will ask you to type it when we get done with everything in the.
Absolutely.
So what other tabletop RPGs are interesting to you? This is a question by Dreaming Dragon Slayer. They'd like to know, like, are there any other TTRPGs you've heard of that you're interested in getting to play?
That's my friend.
Oh, hey!
He has a very specific reason for asking that question, because he is obsessed with Electric Bastion Land. So I think if I didn't say that, he would be very, very mad at me.
Okay. I don't know
Definitely
anything about that.
texted me.
Oops. Setting.
I don't either.
Give us a synopsis.
I can tell you, and he's gonna be so mad at me for not being able to tell you.
Okay. So
But
you're saying
I think Shanda was running a game of it with some people from Discord, but I don't remember. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like I remember Shando saying something.
so. What
But
you're,
yeah, that's his whole thing.
what you're saying is we all have to play this or get Sarah to do this on Roundtable. So that
I
we
was
can...
thinking round table.
Yeah.
Round table.
I'm pretty sure Sarah's in chat, so you heard it here first, Sarah. Or Sarah. You do whatever you want, Sarah. That's awesome. But also.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like his favorite game ever. He's super obsessed with it. He can tell you all about it and probably is watching right now, low key. But I'm not even looking.
Luscious
Yeah.
Hall says, "What's some uncommon advice for players trying to make their RP fun / not annoying?"
Not annoying.
Yeah, that question makes me a little sad to hear.
I don't know. What do you mean by not annoying? I think the key to making RP fun is not stressing about it, which is so hard to do, and I completely understand, because when we were about to start rolling tides, I was like, my character's just never gonna speak. And so I was like, because I'm too scared to do anything. Obviously that changed.
Thank God, because you're amazing.
Clearly. Thanks. Yeah, I feel like just like kind of letting go, and if something doesn't play out super well, hopefully you're playing with people who don't mind, I guess. You know? It's all about just like kind of going for it. I feel like if you have an idea of something you want to say or something you want your character to do, you can go for it. And also just not putting too much pressure on yourself. Like if you don't feel like you can handle doing a character voice, don't do one and just talk as yourself. You know, it doesn't have to be this big, unknowable task. Just talk, just chat,
That's
do
profound.
things.
It really is.
Thank
Like,
you.
and you fall into like the sway of it, right? Like, again, you may
Yes.
feel nervous initially, but if you don't try it, you start to tease out what
Yeah.
works for your group over a few sessions.
Yeah. Absolutely. Which was so great with Rolling Tides because we all clicked so fast. Like we were very lucky to just click right away. To where I initially was really, really scared to roleplay just because I had never streamed before. My second campaign of Dungeons and Dragons ever, I was like, everybody's gonna know I don't know what I'm doing, and it's gonna be so embarrassing. And then it literally is fine, and everybody's great and amazing and wonderful and accepting, and so it's fine. I literally texted Zach before our first stream. I was like, just so you know, I don't know what I'm doing. And he was like, it's totally fine. You're gonna do great. I was like, okay, but
If it's
Yeah.
any consolation to you, and I'd wager Parker agrees, I've been doing this for over a decade, and I still panic before every session because
Oh yeah.
it's just frightening.
I still get nervous before I play with new people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
you
Not
never
knowing
know.
what to expect can be really intimidating, but
Mhm. It helps having a good group of folks there to do it with, though. That's for sure.
absolutely. Hopefully nobody thinks you're annoying. I'm not sure what that means, but if
Mhm.
you're playing with people who think you're annoying, maybe you should play with different people.
Yep.
Find a new group that
Yeah.
you really vibe with.
Yeah. Very good point. Let's see. No Way has a question. What piece of literature or media beyond Taz do you remember making an impact on the way you approach Dungeons and Dragons, like for character creation or plot or play style? It's a big-
Besides the adventures that influenced lately. I think probably just in general, a lot of the fantasy stuff that I like consume in my lifetime, like books and movies and stuff. I can't even really think of anything super specific right now, unfortunately. But I feel like there's just a general vibe to Dungeons and Dragons that is common in a lot of fantasy media and literature. And so just keeping that in mind when I'm playing is influences me heavily, especially playing Ripple and thinking about like Monk, what was her monastery like. It's all in the back of my head. I'm not gonna say much here.
Spill
Yes.
tea. No, I'm kidding. No
Hasn't
spoilers.
been revealed in the story yet.
Secret
but-
secrets.
There's a lot back there that, you know,
That's
just the
awesome.
general vibe of like fantasy that you get when you read those types of books is prevalent in Dungeons and Dragons too, which just makes it so much more fun.
I always like when our guests reference written media, and
Mhm.
I think there is something to be said for being an voracious reader, um, uh, in regards to like D&D and understanding flow, and like it helps inform roleplay. Like if you haven't been a big reader in the past and you want to enjoy D&D, like reading can really help. It
Yeah.
really can.
Read some real good
Absolutely.
fantasy stuff.
Because
I thought you were gonna say fan fiction, and I was also gonna agree with you.
That too, though. That's
That
all we did
fantasy stuff.
earlier today. It's fine. Rachel and I apparently need to talk more.
you do.
Yeah, apparently. There's a lot to discuss here.
We'll talk about Tumblr in a little bit. It's totally fine.
Great.
I saw Parker's
You
eyes light
mean-
up when you said
You,
that.
me, and Sarah need to sit down and be like, so Tumblr support group. We survived Tumblr. We've made our way to Twitch.
Yeah, exactly.
We got
There's a
away.
progression there.
The natural progression from Tumblr to TikTok to Twitch. It's just
Exactly.
the 3 T's. You have to make your way through it.
I love that. It's the hierarchy.
So good. Let's see.
It's amazing.
Blazin' Bacon asked a question.
What a
What's-
name.
Ooh, this is a sad one.
Oh, no.
What's your favorite PC that had to die for the story, but broke your heart to let it happen?
This happened in my campaign with Lydia. There was this. It was a very, very good story. It wasn't any of our player characters were involved in the story, but these two NPCs had to like, I've never actually had one of my characters die. Personally, they've survived. Ripple barely sometimes. But so we were playing in Lydia's campaign, and there's these two NPCs who one's part of a crime family, one was part of a royal family, and they were in love, and it didn't work out, and we had to rescue one of them from they had been kidnapped. We bring this character back, and it's a crime family. So like violent things happen in crime families. And so it was more a matter of like this character, the player who was doing this character had a like job and just like a lot of life stuff, and he wasn't sure if he could come to the sessions anymore. And we were kind of like, he wasn't making it to all the sessions, and it was like fine, but it was always weird to be like, oh, where's Hiccup? What's his name? So once he realized it probably wasn't gonna work, we were like, what are we gonna do? So
Classic.
basically, through a series of misunderstandings and just Mafia being the way it is, he had to go. And it was very, very sad because we had successfully rescued this crime boss's son from being killed, basically. And then
He died anyway.
character got killed.
Oh.
Yeah! Which was very sad, but also like it needed to happen for the practicality of like life. But
That's a good story
it's
too.
very upsetting. Oh my gosh. It was
Loss makes a good story.
absolutely.
So,
Shoot, it's Zach watching. Don't say that in front of him.
wait.
I'm nervous to what he'll do to us.
So Cal asks, Caldernon, Rachel, how is Ripple so pure and sweet and good?
That's really sweet. Cause she's just that's her thing, man. Again, without getting too much into her backstory, she just like she's one of those like tries so hard to be good at something to the point where she tries too hard and ends up accidentally ruining it. And you're just like, oh baby, just relax, like just calm down. And so that's how she's so sweet. It's because she's just such a tryhard. And it doesn't always pan out for her.
I think that's
And then
why like Rel and Ripple are somewhat kindred spirits and tend to get along.
Oh, absolutely.
They're both freaking tryhards constantly. Yeah.
I love when we have moments together like the whole time we were together. That was that 2 sessions ago. That it was
Yeah.
just you and I when the party was split, and it was you and me. It was great.
Yep. Rel and Ripple,
Wonderful.
they get shit done, man.
Also love
R&R.
mild spoilers. I'm not gonna say anything specific, but mild spoilers.
Mhm.
Things kind of went terrible for literally everybody except Rel and Ripple.
Yeah.
Like, we just kind of came back to the party and things were bad.
It was a
all
catastrophe.
around.
Yeah,
And
everything
we were
was on
just like,
fire.
we
Like,
did fine. Like,
we're good.
come on, guys, do
Yeah.
better.
What are you
Like,
doing?
our mission was successful.
Oh, it's so much
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
Rel and Ripple are great together.
they really are. They're a lot of fun. Lyric Brony asks, how do you avoid the temptation to step out of roleplay and say, I tell him about my backstory or something like that? So how do you avoid just kind of pulling yourself out of that immersion?
Yeah. I think sometimes stuff like that can be like a little bit practical. Like if the DM just told you a bunch of stuff and you go, all right, I share that with the party. That's totally fine. But when you're like gonna reveal backstory, I feel like for me there isn't even a temptation to not roleplay that, because the potential for the emotions there is so beautiful, which it always gets me, even when like everything that goes down with like Sarah's character, like Brayless, all of that, I was muted screaming in my room here. So like there's not even really much of a temptation for me to break roleplay and just to like make things simpler ever, because I feel like you just gotta make it like something impactful, you know, and then you're going to want to roleplay it. If that's something like that you're worried about, is not having the motivation to roleplay some long-winded speech. Also, things don't always have to be super long to explain. That can kind of be a character choice too. Your character is just like, I don't want to talk about it, so here's just the information that you need, the bare minimum.
Well,
And then you get through it quicker.
that's spot on. Like, you don't have to give all the information. Like,
Yeah.
it's tricky with an audience because sometimes you'll give information and then audience assumes that's fact. But like in D&D, a lot of the time, characters lie to each other all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Constantly, and the players are cognizant of that. But
And suddenly have trust issues the second you said that. I was like, looking back, I'm like, shit, I told them was. Because that's such a fun tactic to use.
yeah,
You know, makes the game more enjoyable for everybody. Plot twists and whatnot.
yeah. You get really like, okay, surprise. Oh my gosh.
You also don't have to share everything about your character ever. The campaign could end and you could just be like, oh yeah, by the way guys, the entire time, you know?
I supplement for things that I want to tell people about Demi. I just, be friends with your DM and then bother them about it. I tell Josh stuff all the time. I'm like, nobody else needs to know this.
Well, and if you have that relationship with your DM too, your DM can also work with you to. The world exists outside of your character, so perhaps Demi leaves something behind, or there's a hint that is in the world, right? And a good DM will work with you on that as well. Like
Yeah.
the world, I hearken to like Peach's character in Conundrum Company, right? Plum exists outside of Peach, and they've I don't want to do spoilers, but like there's communications, and those have been intercepted or whatever. Like there are things you can do with that
Right.
information to build upon character story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not entirely on the player either.
Yeah. And even like, not just your DM, the other players, because when Lydia and I found out that we had been spoilers. Hello!
Spoilers! Cover your ears. We'll
when-
wave at you. Go ahead.
When Lydia and I found out that Pandora and Ripple had been stuck in time for 10 years alone, they couldn't talk to anybody else but each other, I immediately texted Lydia and I was like, so here's Ripple's backstory, because there's no way she wouldn't have told you in 10 years.
It's true.
And so, like, depending on how your campaign goes, you can totally just like chat with your other players about stuff. And also, I mean, depending on the relationship you have with the people you're playing with, you might decide to tell the players about your character, but then be like, but your character doesn't know that. It'll make things more difficult, but like sometimes that's a fun thing to do, because then the other players can be in on like, oh man, I bet this character is gonna have a bad reaction to that. So, you know, there's pros and cons to every way you want to play D&D. You just gotta find a party that you mesh with and you all agree on how you want to do it, and go forth and roleplay.
That is an excellent point to end our show on. So why don't we share what we've been working on? And so I'll start, because I got like nothing. Oh, there it is. I lost my mini. I did finish painting the blue on the TARDIS. Wash will be next. So I got that far, if I don't throw it across the room. Parker, how about you? Where'd you get to? Oh, spoilers are over. Yeah, I forgot to wave. I lied to you all.
Spoilers are over.
Other things now.
This is, oh god.
You're so fast now.
I am doing my best to get this to focus, but it's not working, and she's still drying. But there she is.
She looks so
beautiful. I love it.
I need to get new colors. I need more colors.
She looks amazing.
I need more.
I need more colors. Every time we paint, I'm like, I need more colors.
All right, Rachel, what do you got for us?
So I finished the hair, the ombre. Maybe it'll focus, maybe it won't.
It's focusing, it's perfect. Oh,
and then her skin, and I got to the pink accents on her outfit. And that's about as far as I got. But I got the hair done, which was what I really wanted to do. It's my favorite part of her character.
Chat earlier, I didn't realize it, and I thought it was great, but chat earlier was like, oh, we have the Water Ganassi hair twins on the highlighter.
Right? I
was like, oh, right. I forgot.
I was thinking the same thing.
Are great.
Yeah. You guys both are big, like, you articulate the aesthetic very well, like I've witnessed both of you like talking about the hair. It's so good.
Water and hair. It's great.
Well, beautiful combination.
Rachel, thank you for hanging out with us and sharing with the community. Do you want to shout out your socials one more time for us?
Sure. It's at Helenerae on TikTok, at Helenarach with a CH on Twitter, and then Rachel.Limpert on Instagram.
It's been a blast. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.